Hello.
No.
All right. How's everybody doing that's out there? Yeah.
I'm very good. Thank you for asking.
Mm,
Ready to read?
yes. Me too. I'm really kind of anxious to see how this is because I'm going to be reading Black Sun also.
Me too. I'm so excited.
Hmm.
My coffee's so floppy. It just makes me so happy. But also, I feel like I pre-ordered this book and didn't pick it up, so I'm
Hmm.
ready. So is that wait? How are we doing with our? I feel like we need a Sun Eater update. Like,
So I actually haven't had the energy like to read, so I've only gotten a couple more chapters in to be honest. Um, but like I mean I still love it. So I'm just sad like that I just haven't had the energy or the mental gumption like to do it. So Um, but I
yeah,
think I'm hopeful because this has got pretty big writing in it, Black Sun. So I
yeah,
don't think this one will take me that long to get through, as long as I have
yeah.
the energy to do it.
Honestly, it really does, and it's only like 430 pages. My God,
Hmm.
the writing's really big. Oh, right. Oh, I thought I thought it was my live stream. I was like, why is there no option to like make it big?
Hey Tufty,
Hello. Picnic bench, lovely.
that's awesome.
That's really nice. I was thinking I should go to the park for a walk because it's so nice outside.
I'm actually really excited because I want to read Malazan too because I've heard like everybody I know like that's read the Sun Eater series has also loved Malazan. So
Mm.
now I'm like investigating like my options because they don't have it in hardback, and I love my hardback because it's been so long. So like
Oh,
they only have it in paperback. Yeah.
wait. So is this like an old series, Malazan? I thought it was like a new one.
I don't know like when it actually started, but I can look it up like real quick because I'm kind of curious too. But it's been around for like a little bit, and the fan base is pretty hardcore for it.
I love it. Oh, apparently it's 1990s.
Like late
Oh,
90s.
okay.
Dead House Days 100% came out in 2000.
Okay, which one is that?
Second.
The second one came out in 2000, apparently.
Okay. Yeah, I
Got
want to
my
read Malazan at some point.
encyclopedia of knowledge on Madison. I really want to read it, but I first need to read Robin Hobb. I've promised.
Yeah.
I've promised. So first,
So Tufty, like, are you talking about the Malazan book or the Sun Eater book or the Black Sun book?
read Black Sun.
I'm just trying to figure out like which book
Why
you
do
mean.
I know the name of Megan E. O'Keefe?
We had a velocity weapon.
Memories of Ice is just as good. I am not familiar. I have no idea what Memories of Ice is at all. I've never even
That's
heard of
from
that
the
one.
Malazan books, I think. The third book in the Malazan series.
Oh, he meant the Black Sun book. So I've only gotten like a couple pages into it so far, but like I'm already intrigued. So we'll see how that goes.
Yes, I haven't started, but it says a god will return when the sky. Well, sorry, a god will return when the earth and sky converge under the black sun. And isn't it like I might be spewing nonsense, like Aztec or Mayan or something?
I don't know if it says it.
I said it in the other day in the
Oh,
tweet.
pre-Columbian American,
Okay.
woven into a tale of celestial prophecies, political intrigue, and forbidden magic. Yeah.
I am ready, very ready.
So I know the Blighted Stars. I have the first book. I know the second book's already out, and I think either the third book's getting ready to come out or it's already out. And those actually got released directly into paperback, so I know Tufty was all about that. Because we all know he loves paperback, which is great. Because I do love a big floppy paperback sometimes.
Same.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's yeah. I've heard of the author's name. I've never read anything from them. That explains it. I was like,
Yeah.
I've heard it before.
I'm trying to remember which series it was because all I remember is like the Blighted Stars.
I think it might have been Velocity
Weapon.
Weapon. Now I remembered it. Hanan said, but yeah.
Okay.
I was just telling Hanan that the new like Vaishnavi Patel, who wrote KK, is coming out with a new book, which is called something River Goddess, something. And it's coming out in paperback first. And I know it's not a good sign publishing wise, but I'm just so excited because I love paperbacks. So I'm like, yay. So I'm very ready.
Hello. Hello. Welcome. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. It was Velocity Weapon.
It's on the list. It's on the list.
Yeah.
Because to be fair, I really want to read more sci-fi, so it's an awesome rec. So I need to make my way.
Yeah. I have so many science fiction books like that I want to read, and it's crazy. And I have so many fantasy books that I want to read, and it's crazy. And they keep coming out with more fantasy books and finishing more series, and it's like I'm never gonna get to all this. I'm not.
Honestly, I was watching the new Daniel Green video on the Cosmere, and I was like, oh, I really want to read it, but like, there's just so many books. How will I ever, like, I only read Mistborn. At this point, it's just my whole year would just be reading Sanderson, which there's worse things to do, but
yeah,
I like mixing it up.
Well, apparently, like there was what was it? It was Warbreaker, and I really like that because it's like a color magic system. Which is really cool. And they have a sword in it called Nightblood, and he's like the sentient sword. And apparently, like he makes like an appearance like somewhere in the Stormlight archive, like in passing, kind of like not like a major character or anything, but just kind of like a little Easter egg from Warbreaker. So
watching that video, apparently, like Brandon Sanderson said that like the first part, so like stuff that came up to now is just like small references, cameos. But now it's gonna be like multiverse type of thing where I think it's gonna be like proper. You have to read them kind of together to understand everything. And that sounds awesome, but also like a really big commitment I'm not ready to make.
Yeah. Well, what I'm like really upset about is like I know he's very productive. I know he's got like a lot of things going on for him as far as projects. But Elantris and Warbreaker were like some of his earliest books, and those were only supposed to be like the first books in a series. Those were not supposed to be standalones. He was setting the stage and setting it up like to expand on those books. And here we are, and we still haven't gotten those yet, and I'm very disappointed because Elantris was the very first book I ever read by him because I was trying to go like in like near publication order, so like that I wasn't. So that I could work my way up to Mistborn because I heard Mistborn was like the best, you know? And I'm glad I did that because Mistborn definitely like was really good, but I started out like with some of like the ones that were considered, I guess, like his not as popular works. And I was still very impressed. Like I still had a really good time with them just because of the way that they were done.
I'm really excited about reading Warbreaker because the magic system just sounds really cool. And I remember I was in this like used bookstore when I lived in Hong Kong, and it was like there, and I was so mad at myself for not buying it because it was so cheap, and I'm being like, oh, I don't have space in my suitcase. I'm like, whatever, you make space. What were you thinking? That was, I think, before I read Mistborn, so I didn't really know.
I mean, like what you do is you just like bulk up on your clothes, like just like, you know, put layers upon layers, and then you'd have room like in your suitcase for everything else. You might be sweating and, you know, like half dead by the time you get there, but, you know, at least you got room for the books.
Honestly, right? Especially with the humidity.
Yeah.
I actually already kind of cheated because they were like, oh, you can't have this many bags. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'll rejig it later. And I never did, but they let me through, so whatever. I was like, but I need to.
Let's see. I love that we've been blathering away on social long enough that you know my book preferences. Yeah, we do. And that's okay. It's paperbacks or paperbacks, hardbacks, it doesn't matter. It has the same words in it.
I remember when Tafty was like talking about a book he was reading, and I was like, it was like a romance. I was like, that's very out of character. What's happening? Like, what brought this on? It was just so funny. I love a paperback.
I'm very much enjoying the Blighted Stars. It wastes no time in laying down the groundwork for enemies to overly friendly buddies. I like that. I like that a lot. That's a great description. You sold it kind of. I mean, I have the first book because we get like points at work and everything. And I typically like use like those points like for books,
Mm.
you know, and I order the books, and that was like one of the ones that they had on there. So I got the first one, but I need to get the second too, so that I'm more motivated to read that one, you know, which you think would be more motivation, but it's just me buying more books for now.
Fair.
Let's
That
see.
sounds really fun though, that your job does that.
Yeah. Let's see. I hauled big this week. I am so naughty. I cannot possibly read all these books, and I'm hauling so many books. It's okay. You know, like part of the benefit of being a reader is like that you have all of these books and all that potential to read and experience all this stuff, and you don't even have to leave your house. It's great, you know.
But I've been mood reading lately, and it's stressing me out. I don't know what to pick up. I'm like, I don't know what I feel like. Because, well, I've been very lucky recently, been getting so many arcs. So I've actually been buying less books this year because I normally buy all the new releases and like you have to pay the full price.
Yeah.
But because I've been getting the arcs and I have my new library, which is okay. So I've been like very good lately. But then I got all these books in the library, and my new library actually charges you fees for late returns, which never happened to me before. So I didn't realize. So now I have 90p, which is what, $1. So it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But I was like, damn it. But yeah, so now I've got so many library books. I had like decision paralysis, you know, when you're like, there's too many options, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But I realized that 2 of the books that I took out have to be returned. Like I can't extend it because there's people in the queue, which is Funny Story by Emily Henry and Free Body Problem. So those are going to be, after I get my way through this, that's going to be my priority, which I'm excited.
Okay, let's see. Oh, Elantris is camp, and I can't explain it. It really is, because like you really get to see his work blossom from there. You really do, because it's one of his most. It's like when I believe it was his first major publication was Elantris, and so I actually did start there with him, and I'm really glad I did because it was a wild ride. And then I went over to his YA stuff though, and he's got some like really interesting stuff there too.
I've been interested in his newest, something Tress, like it's like a standalone, unconnected fantasy.
Oh yeah, Trust of the Emerald Sea, which is still a part of the Cosmere, but it's like one of his standalone books. And he just did another Kickstarter for his next standalone book, which I did participate in. Like I didn't do like the whole Monty like this time because it's just too much stuff and too much money. But like I definitely did the book because those books were beautiful, and I need them as a collector and a person who has to have them all look the same. I needed them to make sure like that I had all of the standalone books looking exactly alike. So
that's
there
fair.
you go.
Honestly, I need to. Yeah, I'm like, it feels like a lower commitment because it's just a standalone.
Yes, it is sort of because they're still big.
It's Sanderson. One thing, the man likes the man likes writing, so you know it'll be a lot of work.
There were so many read-alongs I made with folks like yourselves I've been following for years now, and I just went, I can't do all of these. That's such a mood. I think the count was like 5 books, including Chonkers. Yeah, that's such a mood.
Yeah,
that's such a mood. Let's see. I remember that romance book in my library. It was free via Amazon First Reads, a monthly offer via Prime. So I probably like the synopsis, but yeah, shocked to discover the smoochies in my library. Smoochies is a great name for romance, Hannon said. I will be using that in the future. Yeah. I mean, it's a technical term, but it's definitely right. You know, it's right on. Reading, I thought that was a place in England. I've just been watching my shows and movies. Yeah, that's probably like why I've only read 2 chapters of my Sun Eater series too, because I just like I couldn't sleep like last night, so I've already like watched the first 4 episodes of Bridgerton, the first season of season 3. So yeah, like that I couldn't sleep. That's what happened. So we'll see how today goes, right?
Honestly, I planned it all. I was like, I'm gonna have a lovely Friday evening. I'm gonna sit down, make myself food, and watch all 4 episodes in one go, and it was awesome. I have no regrets. But I'm mad that we have to wait another month for another half of the series.
Like, why? They're doing like this to extend the hype on it.
Yes, but I was like, why a month? Why couldn't it be a week? But they want to extend it a month so people are subscribed another month. So
yeah.
But yeah, it felt very betrayal.
It did, definitely. Let's see. I started Branderson. My brain's not braining. With Elantris and then moved on to Mistborn 1 by sheer chance. This is before I discovered book 2, but I had no particular clue who he was at the time. I mean, that's fair. I mean, honestly, like I feel like if you're like outside like the fantasy book community and stuff, like he's big in our community, and I feel like a lot of his stuff have yet to be transferred to film. But like once they like, I'm sure at some point some of his stuff's going to get transferred to film. I mean, he's got too many good ideas, and like it's too lucrative. You know what I'm saying?
Feel like when I was reading Mistborn, I was just like, this would be such a banging like animation.
Yeah.
Because it would just look so cool, like the pushing of the metals and flying in the air, and it just looks so good.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to do in live action. Like you probably could, but it just costs you a lot of money because you need like good special effects.
I'm still hoping like for the day, because I feel like Era 3, because like, you know, he like since it's like metals, because Era 2 is like Wild West, so they use guns and stuff. There's metal there. And then I feel like the third era that they do is probably going to have to do with technology. This is just a hunch. And I feel like the fourth era that they do, because they are saying that there's going to be a fourth era, is going to have to do with space, and there's metal in space too. So can you imagine like being able to control like the entire cosmos? Like, yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, that's my hunch. Like those are my theories, but we'll see how that goes.
I need to read Era 2, but he recently finished because I was waiting for him to finish it. So now maybe the time. Yeah,
I would say so. Oh, I already did that one. Okay. Fellow book collector of matching books. Yes. It's such a pet peeve. Like if you look at your shelf and it's like mismatched, it's like not pretty. I mean, it is pretty, but it's not pretty enough. Aesthetically pleasing. Yeah. The fact that we got half a season, it's not fair. Like where they left it too, like was not fair.
Oh my God, I legit just like.
I'm not going to say anything else, but like, I'm just not. Yeah. I'm not going to say anything else. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we will be getting our standard 8 episodes. We just have to wait another month for the last 4, which takes us like what, one night to watch, like I did last night.
I agree. I thought, they're splitting it, so I was hoping they would do at least like 10 or 12, but no. Upsetting. Especially because I feel like they keep adding new storylines, and now like in the beginning it was like Daphne and the Duke. Then you got like Anthony and Kate, but then you also added like some other like subplots, and then Eloise has her own, and now it's really about like 5 different plots. So it's not enough to like flesh it all out. I feel like this season was great, but they could have had more time to develop the main relationship, which I feel like kind of fell a little tiny bit shorter because there's less space. Because now you have Francesca and Eloise, and Benedict's got his own, and then you got Mantricious, and it's just like so many plot points.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like wondering, like though, Eloise, because I love her. Like I think she's like so anti-society. I'm wondering like the man like that, like because I'm sure like the series continues. I don't see her being the perpetual bachelor because she likes company too much. You know, she still really values her friends. But either she's gonna fall in love with a girl, which would be like so controversial, like for like the society. I would love to see that. Or she's gonna fall for like this really unconventional guy, like that everybody's just like, whoa, like how did that happen?
I remember first season when I was watching, I was like, so Eloise was a lesbian. But then obviously it doesn't really give me those vibes anymore. But I agree with you. It can't just be like another Duke or Viscount or whatnot. It just like doesn't fit. Yeah. So that's why I thought the page boy would actually, like whatever his name was, would actually be a thing. But then kind of didn't work out. Because I feel like her going from someone without a title, not part of the society, would be like really controversial and really different, right?
She doesn't seem like a character like that would fall like into like that. But if she does find a guy who falls into that, I feel like he's going to be like just as much anti-establishment as she is, and she's not going to know what to do with that. Like maybe even more so.
Yeah, a revolutionary.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, Era 4 is supposed to be sci-fi, and that's like why I think it's going to happen in space. That's my theory, because like, you know, like all the metals like floating through space, you know, and stuff. I just think that would be amazing.
I like it.
As long as he remains a Mormon, I'm gonna keep out.
Is he like? I thought he like. I don't know if he was still religious or not.
So there was some controversy a while back about him because, like, I guess he had made some very anti-gay, like, comments, and he did at some point apologize for those, like, sincerely. I think that there's still, like, a lot of controversy around him because he still doesn't have representation in his books surrounding gay characters. But I know, like, that there was quite a bit of controversy with him for quite a while, and there's a lot of people who still have him boycotted because of that earlier controversy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there is still some of that going on. I don't agree with those points of views, obviously, but personally, like, I really still enjoy his stories. I wish there was more representation in them, but you know, I mean, it's still a good story. So
I think he seems so nice, like when I watch his YouTube videos and stuff. But I never really followed him that much. So this year, I feel like after the fundraiser thing, he really got like quite big on YouTube. At least it started being recommended to me, whereas before it wasn't.
yeah.
Let's
see. When is he going to manage to find time to write Era 4? Will we still be? I know by that time. They'll have AI robots like that diagnose like all of his work, and we'll write it for him, even though he's still not here. Which may be like, like how we get like Mistborn or like Warbreaker 2 and Elantris 2. We'll be at the AI stage by then.
Honestly, like did we talked about this last time that his Way of Kings series was going to take another like 10 to 20 years to be written or something?
Well, yeah, because we're getting like ready to get book 5 and it's supposed to be 10 books, so we're only halfway through. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like, he's not old, but he's not Sprout Chicken either. So.
During our 10-year wait for Stormlight 6. Yeah, that too.
Oh, God.
I bought The Grace of Kings before discovering BookTube. Then once I picked up the hype for the Dandelion Dynasty series, I had to double dip to get the new cover so that they all match. Yeah.
I need to do that. The first book was so good.
Oh, so Hannon's read the books. I have not. I have them. I have not read them, but I am very curious.
I haven't read it, but I know who she ends up with. And it does seem like a very weird choice. But I have not read the books. So I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Hannon said it's really sick, so I don't know what that does not bode well.
I don't know if I want to read them now. Like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I feel like the TV shows definitely did their own kind of spin on it. On the books overall.
I have nowadays started taking a punt on an entire trilogy to purchase time. This way they are guaranteed a match, but I accept it could be years before I pick them up. Yeah. That's why I buy the hardbacks early and then just kind of wait it out. But that's also a risk too. Like if you buy like stuff early and then kind of like wait for like them to come out individually, because sometimes by the time they come out with the last book, they've already changed the whole series. Like Ember in the Ashes.
Wait, did
one. They did. So hold on.
Because I know that there's 2 different covers, but I thought it was like a US UK type of thing.
This is the earlier.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and the only like reason I have matching covers is because Fairy Loot did a set. That's the only reason. But I kept my original.
And the new covers are so. I don't love them. They're very cheesy. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. But I love the series, but I listened to the whole thing, so covers didn't bother me.
Yeah. As turning up to the midnight release of 50 years old next Sanderson novel. Yes.
He's just like a projected on the screen AI rendering of him.
Yep, we'll have holograms by then.
Oh my God. To be fair, my man writes what, like 3-4 books a year? It is an insane.
But he's spending time like on the independent projects. I want more. I want more like of Elantris and Warbreaker. You know,
he's turning into George R.R. with all these side projects, not doing the main one. Come on.
I don't care about Miss Borderline show. I don't care.
I said we don't care about Mistborn live show. We just want the books. I agree.
Mhm.
I agree.
Writing scripts. Who cares?
Wait,
Like
he's
the
writing
ABBA
scripts.
concert with holograms.
Write the script to like sell the
Oh,
next
just yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I heard it's pretty an amazing experience though. I've never been to the ABBA hologram thing, but
Mm-mm.
my cousin went and really enjoyed it. So
Mm.
it's weird, I think, but alas.
All right.
Should we do some reading?
We should. We've been talking and I've had too much fun and we're already 25 minutes in.
That's what it's all about. You can read anytime.
Let's see. It's crazy. It's been so long since I've done this. Let's see. I think it's present.
Yeah. And you can choose the tab, I think. Oh my eye. It started like spring here and I get allergies and I'm not having fun.
Give me just a second. I'm apparently really bad at this because it's been so long.
Oh good.
There we go. Okay.
That's a nice one.
Yes, I found it on Google.
Nice. It's good aesthetic. I like it.
All right. Ready?
Go.
Huh?
Let's go.
There we go.
Yay.
There's a little tear.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing? Did you read?
Yes, I got up to page 39.
Love it.
Mhm.
We didn't read anything. We both sat with our books right here and talked about Bridgerton for 45 minutes. Next sprint.
Yes.
Hannon read the poem on the first page and said it was good. I'm like, cool. I've not read that yet, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, how is it? Are you enjoying it?
It was a hell of a first chapter.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm pretty intrigued.
Nice. Hannon said she read a page and a half and the writing was good. Yeah, again, I've not read anything, so I have no opinion. I'm just reading, yeah.
I turned a few pages. Lady MC and Bloke MC are having an open chat about things. It's not quite what you think, but I can't see the scene without spoil. Yeah, it's true.
Oh, what? With this one or what?
Well, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, he's reading something different, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I think this is the enemies to buddies.
Yes, that's right. Yep. Yeah, definitely getting to know you kind of blather scene. Yeah.
Nice. Ooh, what's that?
I've not heard of that.
Fried crew?
Yeah.
Love it.
It was a good first few chapters of Black Sun though.
Nice. Is the writing good? It's not easy to read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very intriguing.
That's good. You need something easier to read than Sun Eater, just for brain reset.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually read smut for that though, but I haven't been in the mood.
That is real.
For the last 2 weeks.
Huh?
Hannah said real. And I'm like, yeah, it is. I actually read this book. It's called How to Bury Your Husband. And I got an ARC for it, but then I didn't pick up the ARC. So I found it in my library. So I read that. And it's about these 4 women during the pandemic. And they each killed their abusive husband through accident or otherwise. And they all create a club to get rid of the bodies because they live near each other. And it was like a black comedy kind of thing. And it was so good. And I was like, it's very different than what I normally read. So it was like a nice palate cleanser. But it's been a while since I've read like romance. So I need to pick it up.
Yeah, I've got a few that I want to get to. It's just most of like my stuff that I've been buying like lately is not romance. So, but there are like some romance books that I'm interested in, but I have so many. I just need to go through like everything and try to figure out like what I'm not going to get to, so I can maybe make room for the stuff that is coming out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Funny Story by
Emily Henry.
Yes, it's like, where's Emily? Yeah, but I've never read anything from her before, but it's the new one, and it was just available in my library. I was like, why not? But I'm currently rereading Pride and Prejudice, so that's where I'm getting my romance fix. But and it's perfect for this break between Bridgerton. I feel like it's like continuing the hype, but I can only reread like a couple chapters, and I'm like, my brain hurts now. I'm gonna switch to something a bit easier.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm reading O'Keeffe's The Blighted Stars. There were scenes moments ago, and Bloke MC had got the very wrong end of the stick, but there was a bit of jelly creeping in too. They are going to bang. Hey, I didn't realize like that book had that in there. I might have to jump on that soon. No pun intended. Let's see. It's an animated series on Peacock about a group of kids gaining powers from LOA to fight against a demon and his horde. Neat.
Well, actually sounds pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I've been we oh sorry. No, we were talking about animated shows, and I was saying that I watched X-Men '97, and it's so good, and I would 1000% recommend it. It was really, 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 really good. I actually got one of those shows where I'm like, it's coming out weekly. I'm like ready. I'm like, oh my god, I can watch a new episode today.
Is that the one in Disney Plus?
Yeah. So it's like the continuation of the 90s show, but they said, okay, all the 90s kids are grown up now. So this is for like more adults, like not because of like sex or anything, but more like the themes are very mature and like serious. So yeah, it's really good.
I'll have to look into that because I just finished Bridgerton, so I'm going to need something else to watch next.
It's really good. The first 3 episodes were just okay, but then it got like amazing.
Mm-hmm. This book is proper sci-fi with a futuristic twist on diversity, some brutal choices, and I have not encountered being made and discussed obliquely.
That sounds very fascinating.
Yes. Yeah, I've heard good things about it, so I definitely want to get to that at some point. X-Men does have one problem. What am I going to do now that the season is over and have nothing to watch? I mean,
going back to the children's cartoon, it's desperate times. I'm like, I want more. I really want more. But yeah. Well, Hannah's rewatching Young Justice, which is a very good show. So
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's really good, but it's quite older, and they just kind of stopped it randomly so it ends on like a not nice way, like a cliffhanger type of and it's been years. I don't mean. So yeah, it was good while it lasted, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. There are so many shows I can't keep up. I'm already behind on BookTube episodes this week alone. I was up to date on Friday. BookTube is kind of a hard thing to keep up with though, because like there's so many things, like there's so many videos always coming out, always.
Yes, I think the only person I'm up to date on is Daniel Green and Books and Lala, and that's why. The rest I like watch occasionally, but these two I'm always like, let me see if I missed any videos. And Books and Lala's like a member. I pay for the membership, so I always get like an extra video. I'm always like, yay! So
that's awesome.
It's just changing the game.
Having nothing to watch while I'm saying there's so many shows to watch. I mean, there's a lot of shows, but there's also I don't know, like I feel like you have to be like in the mood for like that show, like at the right time. Not, and by that show I mean like no particular show in particular, just that show, you know, like. So sometimes you don't have anything to watch, but sometimes you have a lot to watch. Like I have a ton of Korean dramas that I want to get to. I just haven't been in the mood to sit down and read them or watch them or read them because it is reading too. So
it is. You just called me out. I have this one show, amazing show, love it. Why did I stop halfway through? And now I need to watch another 10 episodes, because I need to sit down and actually like read the subtitles and focus because I don't want to watch the dubbed version. It's like I don't really watch TV that way anymore because I'm always like doing something. So it's just like, yeah. I'm watching Abbott Elementary. I don't know if anyone watches that, but the season 3 came out on Disney Plus, and it's good. I will say I think season 2 was slightly funnier, but it's like a sitcom, and I love a sitcom. So
I think I saw previews for that, and I was kind of intrigued because it has like the guy from Maze Runner in it. I always liked Newt. Wasn't that Newt from Maze Runner? Like the main character, like the guy?
No, I think you're thinking of a different show. I know which show you're thinking though. It's like a historical thing.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my fiance watched it and said it was really good actually. No, I mean Abbott Elementary is like a sitcom set in Philadelphia and then elementary school. But it's fun. It's kind of like reminiscent of like Parks and Rec and that kind of sitcom. This is like a mockumentary style.
Young Justice reboot win.
Give the people what they want.
The first 2 seasons of Young Justice are peak. The 2 revival seasons are less.
I don't think I've seen the revival. Now I'm thinking about it. I think I only saw the original.
Hannon said I just finished season 2. I have to filter BookTube just a little bit so we don't watch all the reviews. I must admit. Sorry.
I forgive you.
Yeah.
It's too much.
I mean, yeah. And like if there's like a book trending, like everybody's reviewing that same book. So
it's rough. it's rough out there.
Yeah, it is. Just to read the good stuff behind me.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, I've not read 3 or 4, so.
I haven't. So I want to read The Expanse. Excuse me. So sorry. I want to read The Expanse. So I haven't touched the series, the actual like TV show. And they just came out with the last book in that series. And the writing's fairly big, so I'm thinking like once I get to it, I'll be pretty good for it. But it's getting to it and trying to finishing it. I feel like so like involved like in the Sun Eater, like I can't seem to help like want to like other than like the books that we're into, like go into another series until I get through the ones that are out. So
I say that's fair. I have the opposite problem. I start a bunch of series, just never follow up. I'm just like, great. Except for the ones we read together, actually read the whole series in a timely manner.
Yes, exactly.
But I heard, well, I think I heard it from Helen that the books, like some of the books are not so good, the later ones, right? I think someone told me that the show's better. And again, my fiance loves it. Like he really loves it. The show, not the book.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe one of those where adaptation's better. Doesn't happen often, but happens sometimes.
They're becoming there became such easy reads because they're so action packed. I believe that. I had another friend who read those and he really liked those a lot. So really kind of want to get to those. I am chomping to get to the Sun Eater. There are a lot of novellas between the main novels, and I need to find out how to read, probably on Kindle. So I have read only a couple novellas for the Sun Eater series, which is The Lesser Devil, which is in between book 1 and 2, and The Queen Amid the Ashes, which is between book 2 and 3. And honestly, like unless you want the side stories, I don't think that they're super necessary. They don't really like make like a lot of reference. So far, they haven't made a lot of,
Hannah said perfect news.
Yeah. They haven't like really made like a lot of references, I feel like so far, like to those kind of instances. And if they have, like they've kind of expounded like a little bit, like so that you didn't necessarily have to read them. The Lesser Devil was kind of interesting because it was like kind of a branch off of like his brother from the first book, because you never like really like know what happens to his family after he leaves so far, you know, like in like where we were at like in his timeline. So and then like the other like book is like another quest that he was sent on by the Emperor. So yeah, I
quite like that when like the novellas or the extras aren't like necessary reading, because it's like if you want to, that's great, but it's not like it's like already the books are very big, so having to read even more, you're like, oh.
Yeah. And I can't, like part of me wants to read like all like the side ones, but like at the same time, I'm just like really invested like in the main story for me personally. So
I always feel like with the novellas, it's like almost nice to finish them if they're not necessary. Finish the main story, and then when you're feeling nostalgic for it, go back and read the novellas.
Yeah,
get a little bit of a thing. But otherwise, it's like I was trying to read The Witcher, but man, why are the first 3 books like novella compendiums? I'm like, I don't care yet because I've not met the characters yet. So I'm like,
yeah,
it's necessary.
I can agree with that. The Expanse shows superb top tier sci-fi. It looks amazing. Yeah. Isn't it like am I wrong like in like cuz for some reason my brain is thinking like it's like zombies in space. I don't know why. I don't know like why I've thought that. I might be wrong. I might be thinking of a different
colonies, right? In space?
Huh? Is it colonies?
Wait, how to tell us?
It's like it's like Earth and Mars are like the big superpowers and they're fighting.
Okay.
And then there's the belt, which is like their source of labor. Like they get all of the water, like other stuff like that. They use the belt for labor, and it's like the belt are like have their own like revolutionary force like rising up. They don't want to be like under the control of Mars or Earth, and like that's the political backdrop.
Okay, can you hear it? First of all, Kara, can you hear this?
I heard some of it.
And then the main storyline is about like aliens, and like and
Okay.
how that feeds into the wider political
Right.
sphere.
It is not zombies in space. It's like
Okay, that's fine
Mars
too.
versus Earth and the belt, and it's political. What I'm
That's
hearing.
fine. That's fine too. I didn't need zombies in space. Those are kind of played out.
I wonder
But
what you were thinking of.
I have no idea what I was
Lady in the
thinking.
Night?
Maybe my brain like was trying to revert back to Serenity from Firefly. I don't know.
Oh.
My brain might have just defaulted to that.
Okay.
Okay. The Expanse comes in 3 arcs, so it's Little Lying Reading 3 trilogies. Oh, yeah. That's cool. I like that. There's some absolutely fabulous characters in The Expanse. I believe that. I'm here for all the details about the Sun Eater novellas, hearing that they are not super necessary as useful intel. I'm a bit of completionist. And that's cool too. Like, I mean, there's sometimes like you get to know like outside characters better and everything. And I'm like, there's so many short stories. Like most of them I found like were on audiobook, and I've yet to find them as a physical copy, but I don't think most of them are physical copies.
That's kind of cool to have the audiobooks though. That's quite nice. If you're into audiobooks.
Mm-hmm. My bestie Clarissa, an Expanse character. I'm also reading JCM Burney's Hybrid Helix series, and his novellas on ebook do great reference in the main paperback novellas, so they're worthwhile reads in the series. Sometimes like the short novellas like add so much to the main story. It's nice to have like that extra like little bit of fleshing out. If the novellas tie in with the main story, I like the lower reference. Yeah, definitely.
I just don't like it when they the plot moves too much, so to the point where it's like necessary. Like you know the Kingdom of Ash series. Obviously, it's not a novella because it's like a chunker. But you know, Cole's book is like really important, so you have to read it. To be fair, it was a pretty good book, but and I hated him prior to that. But still, I was like, well, is this a companion or is this just another book in the series? Because you need to read it. So
yeah,
I kind of abandoned that series anyway, so I can't really talk. Because maybe it wasn't for me.
I have the series, but I never.
I don't think you're missing out much.
You don't think so? Because I've been debating am I actually going to get to this, or am I just kind of hoping I'll get to this at some point?
I think, honestly, so I read, to be fair, I read all of them bar the last book. And like, it was fun. Even at the time, I read this like at university, so many years ago, like at least 4 or 5 years ago. So it's been a while, or maybe even in high school, which is even longer. But they're fine. But I think just like nowadays, just so much better other stuff with like the themes and stuff that unless you want something quick and fun. And they kind of end up meandering because there's so many books. You're like, this is not necessary. And I heard the finale was not that good from the synopsis I heard. Okay, maybe it was more than 4 to 5 because I read Court of Thorns and Roses like 10 years ago. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's see. I gotta scroll back up. If the novellas tie into the main story, I like a little reference. We already did that one. The Expanse has a huge number of side story novellas, many of which appear in the TV show. I believe they have a whole book of the novellas, if I remember right. Book 1 of The Expanse of Vom Zoms. Third voice, yes. Zombie are a huge factor in The Expanse, but they feature in the first season. Okay, that's probably like why I was thinking zombies then.
Fair. My fiance always talked about the belt, so I knew about the belt. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm happy for you. You seem happy. But yeah.
It's all about 3 political powers: Earth, Mars, and the belt, and that's why it's top tier, how they all interact. Sounds interesting.
It almost reminds me of like a more highbrow version of the 100, because in the 100, towards the end, they have all these different cultures that develop and that kind of stuff. It kind of feels like a mature version of that kind of thing. But I've never read it nor have I watched it, so I don't really know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same. Oh, my expanse short stories are collected. Yeah, Memories Legion book that some of them aren't in the TV show. The shorts flesh out scenes from the main story, which I loved. Yeah, I don't like novellas as homework for the main season, but I do like novellas that ties in the non-essential way. Definitely same. It's very exciting for Memories Legion. Very excited for Memories Legion. Yeah, we did that one. Held Sins of Our Fathers. Hello, welcome. How you doing, Coffee Create Connect? You said you were finishing your rough draft today. That's awesome. I'm kind of curious to know more about that.
That's so impressive, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Hello. Hannon said hello.
Yeah, that's fair.
I watched The 100, but it's more like a kid's show. I've heard so much about that show, and I'm kind of like, do I really want to invest time in it?
I only watched the last couple seasons because my fiance was watching it. So I was like, what is happening? You know, when you're just like see something on the TV and you're like, what in the world? And you just sit down and like you watch it. That was me. And it was honestly so wild. I was like, wait, what? And then he would just explain all this lore from 4 seasons before. And I was like, this is the most bonkers thing ever. And the last season was a bit like, meh. But yeah, I don't know. I often do this where I just join him for like the random seasons because he is watching it, and I'm just like, what? You know, very mum about it. Like, what's happening over there? Tell me about it. So yeah, it was wild.
My novel is about an 80-year-old widow and a young single mom who lives intersect and change everything, not only for them but for many others.
Sounds very beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I love that. It stresses me out. I would read the summary of the episode before I watch the episode.
Nice.
I always worry about reading summaries because I always worry about there being too many spoilers in it.
Yeah, I mean, I used to watch so much TV and really care about spoilers because I was really on top of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I don't have that much time, I just my favorite thing is going on YouTube and watching those people that explain to you the entire plot, and I'm like, great, I just got it in 20 minutes, amazing. But there's some stuff that you want to experience for yourself for sure.
Definitely. I've only watched the first season of The 100. Not terrible, but not enough to draw me in. Fair. I'll skip it.
Because I watched the first season by myself ages before I watched the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Where it started, where it ended up, insane. Just how did we get here, kind of thing.
Ooh, that sounds intriguing. Yes, it does. Do you ever find somebody you're watching on BookTube DNFs a book on your TBR and you end up wanting to read it even more now?
Yeah, I definitely had it where someone doesn't like something and the reasons they don't like it, I'm like, I really need to read that. That sounds insane. But
yeah. Well, I feel like everybody's got their own taste, and especially if your tastes don't line up and you're like, oh, you hated this, I'll probably enjoy it then. So I think it just depends on the person.
Yeah, that's true.
She said, oh, you're welcome. And let's see. Need to go back to work while the house is quiet. We'll come back during chat time. Okay. Neat.
See you in a bit.
Yes, definitely. So I didn't ask last time, but what is everybody going to be doing for their next sprint?
We're going to attempt, and we're going to get food. I should read some. Are you going to continue reading?
Yes. And I'm probably going to go get a cookie because I want some sugar to fuel my next 45 minutes.
Yes. Yeah, we're ordering Korean.
Ooh. Great. Empire of Silence, i.e. Sun Eater. Hit a DNF recently, which makes me want to read it, hence the chomping. Is there a review for this? Because I'm kind of curious to see why they DNF this. I'm curious. Maybe because it's a slow burn. It is there's a lot of world building. There's a ton of details. There's just so much. So you really have to be patient with it, but it's great. I don't know. I'm heading to my hammock. I think the sun intensity is down. That sounds great. Awesome. Yeah. But yeah, Tufty, like if you know like which person like that was, I want to hear the tea. I want to know like why somebody hated that book, and then I can be like, yeah, I can see that, but no, I'm just waiting to say that. So, boom, slow burn was the primary reason that screams Tufty. You need to read this. That okay? Well, I mean, slow burn's definitely not for everybody, so that's okay. It's okay if you don't like a slow burn. It's okay if you like want to be caught in the action all the way through, but it's great for world building. So. I know Booked and Busy didn't like Empire of Silence, but completed the book. Yeah, I don't think it's for everybody, but if you like I said, just like it's slow burn because of all the details, and it takes like a little bit to get into the details. But once you're there, like you understand it, and like they really set the stage for everything else. If you're okay, like with being patient about the details in the slow burn, because like the last 3 books, like the finale like of the books, like was so worth it to me for like to get through all that. So.
I love a slow burn. Like I love it. It's just when a book makes you work for it, but it pays off. You know, when something's just bad, and you're like, whatever. But if it really pays off, it's like, damn, that was worth it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Like it's hard. Like if it's boring, but if you're into it already, like then it's easy to get through.
Yeah, for sure.
You compare it to Robin Hobb, and I'm like, yes, let's go. That sounds awesome.
Wait, did this person compare it in a bad way? Because that's scary. I agree.
And it's like, ooh, that's high praise. Yeah, is it did they compare it to Robin Hobb? Because like now I'm curious about that too.
I read book 1, was good, but I think it's just gonna get even better because it was like a setup book, like book 1.
Yeah, it's just not for him, and we know, and I know we differ there. Hence the increasing chomp. Yeah, see, you know, you don't like one book, you know, like, and of course, like if that person hates it, and you know you liked it, and they DNF'd it for the same reason, you're gold. It's okay.
100%.
So I guess we can get ready to go ahead and do another sprint. I'm ready to get back to the book and a cookie. So I guess we'll see you guys in about 45. Let me get this, because it takes me a second, but I think I'm getting this down again. So. Oh, yeah, do I have to hit that again? Nope, hold on. I'm really bad at this, apparently. Oh, share screen, there it is. Okay. Hey, there we go.
Yay. All right, I'll see you in 45.
All right, see you guys in 45. Go ahead, play. There we go. Hello.
Hello. How's your cookie?
Delicious.
Glad to hear it.
Did you get any reading done?
I did. Read the first chapter.
Mhm.
It's like, what, 20 pages? It was amazing. Oh my God, what a first chapter.
Yeah.
I needed like a moment to compose myself to be like, what the fuck just happened? It's very good.
Yeah, it started out pretty strong.
I'm excited to keep going. Did you read? How much further did you read?
I didn't read too much further. Like I'm now up to page 57.
Nice. Good progress.
Yep. I'm enjoying it so far. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, after that first chapter, I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. So what did everybody else do?
My page like 22.
Two pages into chapter 2.
Hannah's 2 pages into chapter 2.
Nice.
Good progress.
Yeah.
We were like reading it next to each other. She like gasped. I was like, what? And I kept reading it like a page later. I was like, gasp. It's like spoilers.
Mm-hmm. Oncoming attractions. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's. I mean, everybody says like everybody's been saying like that this is a good series. So
Yeah,
I'm glad like though that we're going to be like because next month is when book 3 comes out for the series. So
yeah, I think June.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hope they come out because I think the first book came out right away as a paperback. So I kind of want to get all of them as paperbacks. At least mine. I don't know if it was the same in the US.
No, I got the hardback.
Let me look it up. Was it something mirrors like? Black Mirror? No. Mirror Monsters? What is it called? Mirrored Heavens. Why did I think it was called Mirrored Monsters? Do you have book 2 already or not yet?
Yes.
Nice. I don't because I didn't like the cover, but now I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's sharp, but then again, like I like black and light colors.
Grew on me, to be fair. But I really like the third one, the cover. Oh yeah, it's coming out July. Oh no, the paperback for the third book's coming out in July versus June. I feel like that's still okay because we're reading to book 2 next month.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll get that first.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Me too. I'm excited to keep reading and then do the live show.
Mm-hmm. Reading slumps are terrible, but that's okay because there's plenty of stuff to entertain you in the meantime.
That's very true.
Yeah. I'm just interested to see how this progression is going to go. And I'm kind of glad because I don't want spoilers for the third book. Like I don't want to hear like a bunch of people like talking about the third book until we get there because I don't want to know like if I'm expected like to not be super fan of it because when we read the Foundry Side books, I already had a notion like that the Locklands one wasn't as popular, and I don't want to know that about the third book for this.
I totally agree. Yeah, it's always like so hard because you're like, oh, I'm not gonna be swayed, but it's just like when you hear it, you're like gonna keep it in mind. It's just how it is.
And it doesn't matter that we agreed. It doesn't matter.
No. Also, well, yeah, I still kind of enjoyed Locklands. I feel like because the collective mood was not that into it in my mind, it like kind of went down. But I'm like, it was weird.
Yeah,
I still enjoyed it. Maybe it was. Yeah. We'll see. Well, I'm excited. Yeah, and we're never really reading anything that close to its release date, so it's quite exciting.
Yeah, Yeah, I think this is well timed. Yeah. I mean, it'll happen. I believe it. It'll happen. You'll get there. Is more self-imposed, didn't want to read during my birthday, didn't have any books for read-alongs planned. Makes sense. I mean, it's nice to have a break.
It is. I feel like when I look, because I track my reading,
Mhm.
like I always expect it to be good in summer, but it actually ends up going down in summer because it's like you're going on holidays, like you're going to barbecues, whatever, like you're hanging out with people. And then in winter, when it's like miserable, aka January, I was like best month of the year.
Yeah.
So it's cyclical.
Definitely. I know this is like my worst reading year so far. Like I've maybe like read 12 books this year so far.
Hey, listen, many of them were Sun Eater, so the quality's there, so that's important.
Actually, most of my Sun Eater books were from last year.
Oh no. Fair.
Yeah. So.
Well, what's like really good that you read this year?
What did I read this year? Let me check to see what I read this year. I have it on my Goodreads. Oh, We Were Wolves.
Ooh.
I remember that. Or When We Were Wolves. Or There Were Wolves. There Were Wolves. Once There Were Wolves. Yeah, I read that one. That was kind of interesting because like it was about like them reintroducing like wolves like into I think it was like Nebraska or something like that, and like they were trying to, you know, like repopulate, like get the wildlife down so like that the plants could, you know, increase. And like it was a fictional story, but it's based on real events. So that was like really interesting.
I love the cover. That's like looks like broken page, and there's like a wolf sticking out. That one's really cool.
I read My Roommate is a Vampire. That was really good. I flew through that. Yeah. Dang, I didn't even read 12 books this year. What am I doing?
Wait, so how many did you read?
Hold on. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 2 of them were mangas.
Nice.
I read The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy. That was pretty good. It was cute. Like it wasn't, I don't know, sometimes I feel like if I like hear like, because it was really hyped up. So it wasn't, I didn't feel like it met the hype for me, but I still thought it was good.
Fair. That's always the trick, because it's like you want to be excited about it, but if it's like too much, it's really hard. I think that was my favorite book I've read so far. Honestly, Shadowed Sun was so good.
It was.
But also I really enjoyed The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. Just hit the vibes that I wanted.
I like Leigh Bardugo, but I haven't like read much by her since the what are those books called? Not her original trilogy, but the duology.
Oh, Six of Crows?
Yeah.
Honestly, I only read Six of Crows, and then I never read Crooked Kingdom. But I really loved Ninth House, and I really loved Hellbent, so I really enjoyed those. But it was meant to be like 9 books, then it was 7, then it was 5, now it's 3. I'm like, R.I.P. But I'd rather she just write them, because it's taking forever. She's not even started on book 3. I'm like, I mean, I really enjoyed The Familiar, but what are we doing?
Yeah.
Before you started, and then, so yeah.
I read some of Ninth House. I read some of it. It was really good, but then I kind of like lost interest because I just don't think I was in the frame of mind for it. But that doesn't mean I don't want to go back to it. Like it was good.
You're like a little dementor.
Sorry, I was tiptoeing, so I'm like, but like, what tiptoeing change? You can still see me. Sorry. Okay.
Sorry, we're just laughing.
No worries.
But yeah, sorry, what did you say? The Night House was good, but
like I wasn't like in the frame of mind for it, so I just haven't gone back to it because, you know,
it's quite like heavy, to be fair. I've not reread it. I really want to, but I want to wait till the book 3 is like got a release date confirmed, and then I'm gonna read it a couple months before and reread it because it's gonna be at that point so long.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do remember it being heavy, but like I remember like that I wasn't like really at the point like where I wanted to invest that kind of time on it because like it was the first book and it was the only book that was out so far.
Yeah.
So,
That's fair.
Ewald says I read less in summer because heat will kill me. Don't do the social thing much.
Fair.
Completely fair. I've read 52 books this year. That is not counting the manga rereads for readathons. Go you. That's
Very
awesome.
good. Very good.
Yeah.
I read 54.
Mm-hmm.
But not by design. I don't know. Because I was like, oh, I'm just going to make 100 my goals for this year versus like 120. Because then I'm going to read all these big books. But now I'm not really reading the big books anyway. So I really want to slow down the second half and like read Robin Hood finally.
Yes. I think, I don't know, like I've just been so tired this year. Like this whole year I've been just so tired. All I want to do is sleep.
That's relatable.
I've read 30-ish, I think 32.
Respectable.
And wrote era.
What does that mean?
Oh.
Realm of the Elderlings. Which
Okay.
I was like, what does that mean? But
Yeah,
yes,
yes.
from my road era.
Mm-hmm.
One day. I also really need to continue Way of King? No. Grace of Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Because the first book was so good, honestly.
Yeah.
Only a quartet. Only a quartet. I'm having trouble reading duologies. But this is the year. I've got big plans. I'm gonna finish a series that I started and really enjoyed, but did. I'm planning to reread Poppy War, so I can read book 2 and 3. I'm planning to reread Strange the Dreamer, so I can read Muse of Nightmares. Big things.
I really love Strange the Dreamer. Strange the Dreamer was good.
I love the first book, but now I'm like, I don't really remember much, so I need to reread it.
Yeah, I mean, but it was good though, so I'm sure you'll enjoy the reread.
Ready.
Some are bigger, like The Faithful and the Fallen or the Mars trilogy. Others were middle grade ones.
No, I've not read a middle grade in like a year or two. I feel like it'd be fun to do it. I just always want to reread Percy Jackson. That's my go-to. Oh, I could read the other books in the series, but now it's too big a daunting task. There's too many now. So
yeah, I have a bunch of those books, and it's like I haven't even made it all the way through Percy Jackson. Like I read the first book.
Honestly, I love it because they're such quick read. I found them to be at least like very, especially in reread because you already know what happened.
Yeah.
And obviously they're middle grade. So I remember reading one a day and I'm being like, that's not happened in a long while to read a book in a day.
My goal is to complete some series 2, but also to focus on physical TBR. Yes. I've got so much stuff on my Kindle. It's like I don't remember what I have on there. Like there's like books like that go on sale, and I'm like, oh, $2 for this book. I'll get to it, and then like 6 years later, it's like, what did I have on there again?
Very relatable. I also got charged for Kindle Unlimited, although I've read one book on it, and I keep forgetting to cancel. So now I've canceled. But I'm like, because Kindle Unlimited is great if you want to read romance novels, but I only want to read one every like a month or so, like to give me like nice little romance. So I'm like, I think it's better to just pay for it. But to be fair, it's so cheap that it's the price of one book. So you're like, oh, maybe that's me. But yeah, I'm also terrible with the Kindle. Whenever there's a sale, I'm like, oh, I'll need this someday.
Just rainy day reads.
Exactly. Because sometimes if I go on holiday and don't pre-plan what I'm going to read, I just like scroll through my Kindle. I'm like, oh, it's your day today.
Sorry, go ahead.
I now also have a lot of arcs, and it's getting a little bit unruly, and I need to get to it.
I have neglected my NetGalley for like the last 2 years. So, yeah. I stopped requesting Because for a while, like there, I was getting almost everything I requested. I'm like, this is bad. This is really bad.
Same. I've been having such good luck, which is kind of good because I've not had to pay for that many books, like new releases. But I need to start reading them so people will actually give me more. Although I've read 11 this year, and my goal for the year was 12 because last year I only read like 7 of the arcs I had. So I'm doing well. I think because it's actual books I want to read. Because last year I just request whatever. Looks good. Request and then never read it. Now I'm like, okay, I actually want to read this book, so let me request it. We're selling Canon. I got the arc for Broadhaven. What's it called? The ML1. Blood of the Bright Haven. Sort of Kagan offers newest book.
Oh.
So I'm very excited because I know it came out, but I didn't read it when it came out in self-pubs.
So did she get did that one get picked up? Like for
Yeah, so I think now it got released like a traditionally published thing, or I don't know if it's like one of the big ones or indie. I don't know.
That was her second book, right?
That
was her second book, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think Sword of Kagan was like the main book, but I think she had some like novellas or something that I haven't read. Yeah. Sword of Kagan was so good. I'm like, give me more. So. But I think it's unrelated or anything. It's just like separate.
Yeah, I heard it was a standalone, I think.
I think so.
All right. And then I managed to collect all the Malazan ebooks using the sales. That's awesome.
Crafty.
I like the covers for those, so I really wish I could get the hardbacks, but that's a pipe dream.
Let me see what they look like. Ooh, they're pretty epic.
Yeah, they are. And I usually like to tab my books, so I don't necessarily want the ebooks, because I like to see all the nice little tabs and stuff.
They're really nice. Yeah, I feel you. I feel like when I tab, it's more like I feel like I should tab because I love this book, but I don't know what I'm tabbing for. I also forget what the colors mean, so. But I got some that you can write on them because they're big enough. So I enjoyed that because then you can I reread Circe, and that was fun to add a little comment.
I don't know. I don't have a method because I usually just randomly tab my books. I don't have a method I don't have a color system. If I feel like it's important, I tab it.
Fair. See, I'm like, okay, pink for love, obviously, and then I'm like, this will be for plot things, and this will be for sad things. But then I forget what the colors mean, so it's like, whatever.
Oops, I was hammocking and lost track of time. I mean, it happens.
Honestly, I really want a hammock now.
That sounds amazing. I know. Where I live, though, I get lots of mosquitoes. So it's hammock life would be really hard for me, to go outside and do that. But I would have to basically wear a portable net.
Yeah, because I imagine humidity would be quite bad in Florida.
It is, yeah, unfortunately, and it's gotten worse since we started getting hotter summers.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's something nice about England. There's not really mosquitoes, especially if you're in the city. Because back home in Poland, in my hometown, because it's small and we have a little pond in the back, the mosquitoes will eat you alive. Just at night, it's uncomfortable because it's so hot. So you have to open the window. When you open the window, the mosquitoes get in. So it's an art form. You're turn off the light, then you go open the window in the darkness, and then you quickly go to your thing. Don't turn your phone on. But yeah, but here it's not really. So it's quite nice.
Yeah, I wish we didn't have so many mosquitoes. I'm most curious about the tab system when I see a book full of stickers. Yeah, I'm chaos. It's chaos for me. Some people I've watched these tabbing videos where people have everything color coded and they have it written in the front of the book what each color is and they use one tab and they put it next to it. And I'm like, man, I was just like, you guys got your life together. Because that ain't me.
No. I'm always like, I'll remember. No, I won't.
Yeah. I figure if it's like all chaotic, like I'll just go back to it and it'll all just be the same. I stick to purple equals world building, yellow quotes. I like blue important characters. I mean, it's straightforward. It works.
I think that's my problem. I break it down too much. Because I'd be like, oh, this was like a romantic nice moment. This was a character nice moment. This was blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, I don't have that many colors. Nor do I have the memory to remember what the colors mean. So I should go simple like that. That's a good idea.
Well, my problem is like the tabs like that I have, like they only have like a few colors. And I always get more of the orange or more of the green than I do at any other color. So it's like I'm just gonna end up like running out of the green, like if like for whatever thing. And like the same goes through like for my big tabs, like which are for larger passages. So I'm like, I don't want to have to like go through like and have like all these half done up, like half emptied tabs. And I don't like the ones like where you get like the eight different colors because like they don't have like they're not partially clear, and because it overlaps on the text, and I hate that. Like I want to be able to go back and like read the full text without having to worry about the colors being over it.
That's true. That's what I kind of like am questioning my whole I'm gonna write on this because that fully covers like a bit of it. So I'm like, so I'm gonna have to like take it off next time when I read it, and then I hate it when you take it off and a bit of the printing comes off of it, and I'm always like,
yeah. These are the Post-it ones, and they've only done it like a little bit. But, like I've had better luck with them not doing that than I have like any other tabs. So
yeah, I need to do that. It's just not. I'm always like, oh, I don't want to spend money on it, so I'll buy the cheapest one, and they're obviously not the best because they're cheap.
no.
I always love when people have these like beautiful pastel colors, but I'm just like, yeah, but these are cheaper, so simple, gal, simple.
I would take measurements to erect a mosquito net so I can hammock it. Is my favorite thing. My hammock frame is very old now. I love that for you.
Is it like the frame is like freestanding, or is it that you have two trees and you're using trees? I'm very intrigued. Because that's my problem. There ain't no trees. I mean, I live next to a park, but it's like a public park, so I don't know. I guess you probably could. It's not harming the tree.
Wait, there are tabbing videos? Well, of course there are, but I didn't know. Yeah. I don't see
There's
as many
videos
of those as... I'm sorry?
There's videos for everything.
Yeah. I haven't seen like as many tabbing videos like lately though. Like
I will say, it used to be such a trend for it's like the reading journals where it's like a dotted one. Yeah, that was like
bullet journals.
I feel like now it's kind of calmed down, so maybe it's the same for the tabbing.
Possible.
Or they said everything there is to say about tabbing, so what new can you say?
Hammock frame is freestanding wooden thing that I unscrew and move into the garage when it rains. Hence it has lived for so long. I just have to replace the hammock cloth.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I love that.
Freedom.
So, you guys want to do another reading sprint?
Let's do it.
Yes.
I'm excited to find out what's in chapter 2.
Yes. Hey, I just left the sharing thing up this time. I didn't have to go through the headache.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, let's do this.
Yay. All right, see ya.
See ya. Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
How did you do?
I got up to page 76.
Nice. I'm on page 32.
Nice. I will say, like, this, like, though, I don't think this is spoilers or anything, but like I feel like I already kind of see like how the story's forming itself.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I just like almost finished chapter 2, so we just met the other character. And I will say the author has a knack for character introductions. It was very like,
Yes.
okay, we're here, we're doing this.
Definitely very good. Looks like Tufty went to go eat dinner. I don't know if that means he won't be back or what, but we'll see. And then, oh, page 41. Yes, progress. Yeah. I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far. I think it's good.
Me too. I agree. I'm sucked into it, and I'm like, oh no. I feel like I'll read it really quickly, and then I'll forget before the live show. Usually, I start like with a day to spare, which never ends well because then I have to speed read it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to have time. Maybe I'll pause and do some more like Pride and Prejudice, and then continue. We'll see. But yeah, it's really good so far.
Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. I think it's very like interesting premise. See, I like the stuff like that's kind of dark, you know, and hard hitting. And I feel like that this book so far hasn't really spared any punches.
No, even the intros are like, wow, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like that though. Like I don't want it to be sugar coated.
Yeah, but is this adult or is it YA?
I think it's adult.
Oh, I think you might be right. Yeah, I don't know. I think for some reason I thought it was YA, but it doesn't feel YA when I'm reading it.
No, I feel like the stuff like that happened like in the first chapter would not have happened like in a YA book.
True.
Because that was pretty like edgy.
It was. Like we went straight into it.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking it up.
Hannon says she's making notes so she won't forget things. It was a contrast between the tenderness of the clear love between Serpio and his mother versus the horror of what was happening being done to him. Yeah, that was so interesting.
Yeah.
And then like what happened with her, which we won't say because this isn't spoilers.
Yeah, but I was like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And I was like, oh, I want to talk about it, but then you're right. This is not the place. We'll have a live show.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, like my first impulse, like after I read the first chapter, was just like, I'm gonna have to wait a couple weeks to discuss this.
I know it's hard. That's why I'm like, ooh, should I read something else in between?
Yeah. Well, no, maybe I don't know. Maybe like I'll take a break, like from the Sun Eater, and try like to get my reading mojo back, like with after like this, like with a romance or something.
Nice.
Because
Yeah.
it's not that I'm not interested in the Sun Eater series. Like I really want to read it, but like I don't know, like the energy just hasn't been there, and I feel like I have to exert like a lot of energy to read that book.
It's quite like complex, right? So
and it's not so much anymore. Like now that I'm like reading like the fourth book, but like there's still a lot to it, like a lot of like little details. It's not like it. I don't feel like it ever info dumped on me. I just feel like there was just always like a lot of details. But now that I'm in the middle of it, like it's not so much details, it's more storyline, but it's still pretty intricate.
Makes sense. Let me just close the door. Honestly, I'm so excited. When I start that series, you're the first person I'm gonna message.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious to know how you feel about that.
It happens.
I know that third book, like though, was super chunky. Like it was about 800 and something pages, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so long.
Yeah, it was quite a bit, but I liked it. So
Yeah, I feel like when a book is good, it's like it's a gift that it's 800 pages. But when
yeah.
it's too long, it's like, oh no, we're still here.
Mhm.
I read this book. Oh my god, it was like a self-published, like a fantasy romance, and I was like reading it. I'm like, I feel like I've been reading it for a while because it was ebook. I feel like I've been reading it for a while. I'm only like 20% in. Then I look it up, and it's like a 1,000-page book. There was no reason. There was no reason. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't terrible, but like, oh my god, like you could have cut it in half. I think it would have been fine.
Mhm.
That's why I was like, oh, this is why you have editors to tell you not to do this.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was kind of painful. But I read the whole thing, and I'm gonna read the sequel, which is like 800 pages long.
I mean, if it's good, it's good.
It was enjoyable,
Mhm.
but it could have been even better if it was a bit tighter.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The first thing I ever heard about Sun Eater was how amazing book 3 was. Yeah, a lot of action happened in book 3, like a lot of development, and the ending of that was also like very fascinating because there's like a lot of like little side quests, I call it, like there's like the bigger story, but then like there's a lot of other things going on too. Like it's not just like the main story because he's basically like exploring the stars systems and he's got other things to do besides, like his main objective, which I'm trying to be as broad with it as possible so like that I don't ruin anything. But that kind of like that's like why I always feel like I'm reading a video game sometimes, like an epic space adventure
Yeah.
because of like all the side quests, kind of.
Yeah.
So,
That's
which
interesting.
which I don't mind actually because I feel like that's really well done. So,
That's quite cool actually.
mhm.
I feel like that's when I was reading The Witcher because it's a short novella. It felt like episodes of TV where you just go like do a thing, which can be cool sometimes. But
Yeah. I feel like they need to make this into an actual like series like The Expanse.
ooh.
But like they would be able to, but I feel like that they would be able like to do so much more. Like I don't know, they would have to have like I feel like each season would have to be at least 24 episodes and they would have to do like one book per season.
Yeah, that's hard nowadays because all TV shows are like 10 episodes. I don't know why they're all like 8. They all became very short. And like to be fair, like it used to be that the show was 24 episodes. Sometimes that's too many. Like with like Vampire Diaries, you don't need that many to tell your story. But I feel like a lot of like, for example, the Wheel of Time series is just not enough episodes. Like if they had more episodes, they could flesh it out. But now it's all like
Yeah.
super fast.
Well, my major problem, I read the first book and my major problem with that is like they started the characters like out like a little bit too mature.
Mm.
And Rand was having like like what Rand was doing adult things like with his female counterpart, and I'm like, he wasn't old enough to do these things in the book. He had a boy's interest in her,
Mm.
and I feel like they didn't set the stage enough for like his development because like they very well could have started him off younger and not had all that and made it into like a romance because like we didn't need a romance in that. We didn't need it. Like not like that early, and there would have still been plenty of action, and there would have been something more to develop into rather than just like a boyish fantasy.
Mm.
And I just feel like they started it like in the same space as like the story, but they made them too mature for the storyline. And it was like this whole like mismatch of like character development and story progression.
Yeah. I mean, I've only read first half of book 1. But I kind of get what you mean because there's some storylines where you're like, if you're younger, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Versus like they feel like they're in their like firmly in their 20s, which I don't think is meant to be the vibe. But they just like older actors, and that's the vibe they're giving off. I actually don't think Rand is the strongest there. Like, but I really loved it's Nynaeve and what's the other girl's name? Egwene.
Oh, yeah.
Loved Egwene's plot in season 2. That was very powerful.
like I want to get back to that series, but like that's such a time hog too.
Yeah, I have a Hold on the Library ebook where Rosamund Pike is reading it,
Oh,
but I've been waiting like at least 6 months already, and I think there's 6 months to go. Because
yeah.
it's very popular. But I'm ready. I'm like, when it comes, I'm ready. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna be very excited. But yeah, because I don't know. I was reading it, and it's not like I wasn't enjoying it, but every time I opened the book, I fell asleep. So I was like, what's happening?
Yeah. I mean, in some instances, I know like that it's a super popular book, but like it's unnecessarily long, I feel like in also some parts.
Mm,
Because it's like that old world, you know, it's like the original, like one of the original epic fantasy books, like that, like really like, you know, was ahead of its
yeah.
time for what it was. But now, like if you read it, you know, like it's, and I know like the world building like is all there, but in some instances it just feels like it's way too long.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was like, why are we still walking? We don't need to be walking anymore.
It was Lord of the Rings all over again.
I want to read the books. We're planning a reread. Well, I've never read it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared because I tried to read The Hobbit and the songs. I was like, I can't anymore. Make it stop. But I heard good things about Lord
Yeah.
of the Rings, obviously.
Well, it's a classic. I mean, there's a lot of good things to say, but I'm not going to lie to you and tell you it didn't make me sad to read it.
Yeah, relatable.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard it's different than The Hobbit, so maybe if I didn't like it, I'd like it more.
Yeah. Kind of want to do, I just like watching the movies, to be honest. Like the uncut versions, the uncut ones are amazing.
Yes, I'm excited to rewatch them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those were so good. So were we wanting to do like another sprint, or were we going to call it a day?
Maybe call it a day, but tired.
Yeah, me too.
And we've been going for nearly 4 hours. So.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, it's like
I mean, I read
1:49
like
now.
20 pages. I've got to show for it, but still.
Yeah, it's okay. That's fine.
Man, time flies. 4 hours.
It does. So let me just go back to the comments like really quick. I'm going to read the last two. Yes, I agree. They're also coming of age stories, which is part of the charm of the books, I think. Yes, it was. And we missed that in the translation from the MOOCs to the movie, to the series. Yeah, I've been on book 7 for a year, for real. Yeah, that sounds about right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's why I watched a series of Daniel Green just explaining the plot of each book.
Mm-hmm.
And it filled my curiosity, but I was like, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever read all of them. So
yeah, I don't know if I want to
unless
invest that
Rosamund Pike narrates each one, and I'm gonna wait 2 years for each one, so that's many a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll take some time because those are chunky books, and the writing is even smaller. They're the same size as my Sun Eater books, and the writing's even smaller in those than they are in my Sun Eater books.
Hey,
If that gives you any kind of context for how dense those are.
Yeah, I was reading the ebook, so I didn't quite comprehend like how big the book was. But I was like, I've been reading this for so long, and I'm only halfway through.
Yep.
It's like when I started Shadowed Sun, I didn't realize how thick it was because it was an ebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I've been reading for a while. Normally I get to 20% by now. And I was like 5% in. I was like, what's wrong? And then I checked and it was like, 800 pages something? I was like, oh, fuck, I'm so fucked. Because I only had like one day. But I read it, so it was fine.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, it's been a good 3 hours and 50 minutes, reading and talking and stuff. So I'd like to thank everybody that joined us for this sprint. And in a couple of weeks, we will be discussing this book. I'm not sure whose channel it will be on. Everybody's link for everybody's channels is in the bottom of the description. So pay attention to like YouTube, to Twitter for any updates for our book club, Read Along Queens. You can join us. So first in the series trilogy, it will be reading. But anyway, thanks for joining us, and we will see you guys in a couple of weeks. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. All right, I'm hitting the end stream like right now, so we got the awkward like 5 seconds before it actually ends.